Welcome to an all-new episode of St. Louis Presents. Hello, Debbie.
Hello. You know, we're barreling through January, Steve, and the last time we were here together, we hadn't even gotten through the holidays yet. So we made it through the holidays and through this sub-zero cold snap, which has ended for the time being, thankfully.
Usually the winter weather doesn't bother me. I kind of enjoy it, but I have to say this year it's gotten on my nerves.
Yeah, the below zero wind chills. I love snow. It could snow all winter as far as I'm concerned, but the sub-zero stuff.
But we have some exciting things, outdoor activities, and the weather does fluctuate in St. Louis. We all know that. It'll warm up a little bit. For one thing, a little bit later, we're going to be talking to the president of the Mardi Gras Foundation because there's 6 weeks of fun. And, my birthday's in February, and I always kind of pretend it's all about me.
It's a celebration of you.
Yes, that's how I look at it.
Yes, so just pick your Steve Potter party at Mardi Gras. We'll have the whole rundown for you. Well, and people certainly love, as soon as we have a warm day, to get out into one of our many, many St. Louis city parks. And we have the city's new parks director joining us as well. So hopefully we'll see a lot of people out with their hacky sacks and their footballs and enjoying the warm temperatures as long as they last.
Find out how many parks there are. I'd like to know.
I know. Whoever decided that St. Louis City should have a number of parks is, every couple blocks it seems there's a city park, and that is a great thing.
Yes, it is.
So we will talk about all that and more coming up on this episode of St. Louis Presents. Stay with us. Well, after 40 years of public service, Gary Bess has retired as the director of the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry. Greg Hayes, the former Forestry Commissioner, has been appointed to fill that role, and he's joining me right now to talk a little bit more about what the future holds in his department. Well, congratulations on the new position and welcome.
Thank you very much, Debbie. Good to be here.
Well, as a city resident and a big fan of city parks, I think it's just a really important department because when you live in a densely packed community, you've got to have those green spaces.
I totally agree. We like to think we have a park space, green space within 5 to 10 minute walk for all our citizens and residents.
So most people know about Forest Park, our biggest park, and Tower Grove Park, our most historic, and Carondelet Park, but there's so many other parks in between, just hidden in parts of the neighborhood for people to enjoy themselves. How many city parks do we have?
We have 110, including Forest Park, which you mentioned, and so we're always dedicating our services to those parks and making sure people are enjoying them, both visitors and the residents.
Now you have a lot to take in and learn on this new job. I imagine one of the things that you're going to have to tackle is having the Fair St. Louis in Forest Park again this year because the arch grounds won't quite be ready.
Correct. We're welcoming Fair St. Louis again this year. We're really looking forward to the event, and ironic that you mentioned it. We kick off the first meetings this afternoon.
Got to keep planning.
Hitting the ground running on that for sure.
One of the other major things for the park system this year is that last year, I believe it was last year, there was a big bond issue before city voters. It was approved, so there is a lot of money that is going to be distributed to different parks in the city. And how do you figure out who gets what and what projects might we look forward to?
That's an excellent question. Basically, we're talking about 109 parks getting about $26 million. Forest Park, you're talking about $30 million. So with Forest Park, you're going to follow the master plan, the capital improvements there, and work to design those construction projects on capital improvements, and the same thing on the other 109 parks, which is based on park acreage.
Now, as City Parks Director, do you also put that forestry hat on sometimes? Because I know the arch grounds people are concerned about the emerald ash borer. We've got other things going on. There are constantly, trees dying and needing replacing. So is that still in your purview in some way?
Yes, it is. The position has not been filled, and that probably will happen next month. So we are concerned about emerald ash borer, which has not been spotted or detected in the city of St. Louis, but we feel it will be in the next few years. So yes, a heavy focus on forestry as well.
So Forest Park has Forest Park Forever, which is kind of the fundraising arm, and Tower Grove Park has the Friends of Tower Grove Park, which raises money for that park. Are there a lot of groups like that you will expect to work with over the years? Do a lot of the parks have their own, group of citizens and volunteers who help?
Yes, they do. Obviously, Forest Park's a great partner of ours with the Park Department and Tower Grove, you mentioned, but there are a lot of volunteer groups that work with Operation Brightside, which is also under my purview, and they clean up city parks, they clean up neighborhoods, and they're very active, and so we applaud and commend and support them as well.
As you head into this position, is there anything you're really looking at as a major thing to address, or maybe one of your major goals or challenges moving ahead?
Definitely. Well, it kind of goes back to spending that money wisely. We want to make sure our design and construction phases of each of those capital improvements is on schedule, and so people have a great expectation of when things will be done, and we'll realize that once we get those projects done.
So I'm sure the bond issue was very helpful for city parks. We're in a climate where the city is always trying to find money and places to cut and wondering, if we can get by on less. Is that something that you're also having to address in the Parks Department?
Definitely. There's limited resources, but a vote of the voters such as that just augments what we can do already, and it's just a great thing. And people will be looking at those funds in the next 4 years to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Now, does your staff have sort of a quiet period at this time of year to kind of plan and get ready? Because I imagine once spring hits, that's when you kind of have to have things in place.
Yes, we start all our grass maintenance in the parks and in forestry on the vacant properties. But I like to say there's never a quiet time. In Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, we're planting upwards of 3,500 trees as we speak from November to April. So we're always constantly moving.
Well, Greg Hayes, good luck in the new position, and it's one of my favorite things, city parks. And we're going to turn it right now to our good friend Steve Potter, who has some news headlines for us.
Thanks, Debbie. I love our parks too. They're great. And as the temperatures drop, the risks of heating-related fires rise. Here are some tips to help you maintain a fire-safe home this winter. Never use fuel-burning appliances without proper room venting. Be sure that your fireplace or wood stove is installed properly. Have your chimney inspected annually and cleaned if necessary. Don't use flammable liquids to start or accelerate any fire, and keep a glass or metal screen in front of the fireplace opening. Also, don't use excessive amounts of paper to build roaring fires. Never burn charcoal indoors. Have your furnace inspected to ensure it's in good working condition. And never use a range or an oven as a supplemental heating device. The International Institute is moving beginning January 20th. All services will be at 3401 Arsenal. You can still reach the Institute by calling 314-773-9090 or by visiting them online at iistl.org. Construction is now underway in downtown St. Louis on the 23,000 square foot National Blues Museum. Set to open in late 2015, the state-of-the-art museum and educational facility is already making news. CNN listed it as one of the 10 exciting attractions opening in 2015 around the globe. The museum will explore and preserve the historic significance of the blues as the foundation of American music through highly interactive technology, artifact-driven exhibits, a theater, special event space, and classrooms. And Debbie, again, I want to repeat that the National Blues Museum downtown on Washington Avenue will open sometime later this year, and you can find out more at www.nationalbluesmuseum.org. And it's about time, I think, we recognize the history of blues in St. Louis, but I'm also excited about February, and not just because it's my birthday. It's a month that everybody celebrates, not just me.
Absolutely. It's no surprise that Soulard Mardi Gras is one of America's largest Mardi Gras celebrations. In fact, I believe we're the second largest outside of New Orleans. And with more than a dozen different events over a 6-week period, there is truly something for everyone. And the person who can tell us more about what's going on is Mac Bradley, who is the president of Mardi Gras Foundation. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Got my beads on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, grab your beads.
Excuse me.
I hope this isn't messing with my microphone, but I know as soon as he walked in carrying beads, I'm like, that's Mac Bradley. So it's a very busy time because it's just coming up around the corner, but I'm sure a lot of the legwork has been done already. But this has really grown into something that used to just be a parade and is now 6 weeks long.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, in 1980 was the first parade. Their budget was $1,250. There were 5 of them. They each put in a couple $100 a piece. There were a few hundred people that they had, and they walked up the street from where Johnny's is now on Russell Boulevard to McGurk's, where they got thrown out for being
How did
too
it get
loud.
so big, do you think? Is it just serendipity or something? When they started, I'm sure their goal wasn't to have the second biggest Mardi Gras in the United States, but that's what happened.
Yeah, no, that's true. Their goal was to have a party, and it just happened to be around that time, and they thought, well, we'll do a Mardi Gras theme for it. But I think it's taken root in Soulard for lots of reasons, and grown over the years into, as you say, from just a parade to a dozen events over a 6-week period. Most of it's because of your birthday, but I'm sure there were.
I figured that,
I'm
yes.
sure there were other reasons as well.
The celebration of Steve. And I think the other great thing, Mac, is that it got a little adult for a while, and people thought, well, I can't take my kids there. But because you've added so many different events, there really is something for everyone, and it's going to kick off with the Family Winter Carnival.
Right. Family Winter Carnival in Soulard Market Park at 9th and Lafayette. A lot of the things this year are going to take place there at Soulard Market Park. So there's that, which is a great family event. The Beg and Pet Parade, which a lot of people know, one of my favorite events, is a great family event. You've got the Cajun Cook-Off, which is a foodie event. 10 professional and 10 amateur chefs. It's going to be a great competition. The wine taste is the night before that. And then you get into the big weekend with the Mayor's Ball on Friday the 13th.
An unfortunate date, but
Yeah,
it'll be fun nonetheless.
we'll make some lemonade out of it, I think. And the proceeds from the Mayor's Ball benefit the Mardi Gras Foundation. So as of this year, we will have made about $350,000 in grants to downtown and Soulard in the last 12 years, thanks to ticket sales at the Mayor's Ball.
So party with a purpose.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that Beg and Parade, because you said it's your favorite, it's mine too, and every year, even if I miss the Grand Parade, I go to that one.
Yeah, well, and you know, that parade to now is about as big as the Grand Parade was in, say, the early 90s.
Okay.
That's a big event. And if you count, you know, if the guests who have 4 legs instead of just 2, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, if you start counting by legs.
Yeah, if you start counting by legs, that's a lot.
Well, we've got a couple of pictures, maybe we can get to them. I go every year, I have a little 4-legged friend named Juniors who I take, and I make it a big deal because I dress Juniors up and I
Not junior, but juniors?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure there's a story there.
and I make
Yeah.
him a special little hat every year, so he's a different hat every year. And so I take it quite, there I am, one year.
Okay,
And
there you go.
can see Junior's
That's an
custom
awfully
hat.
cute dog.
And then I think we've got the year after that.
What's in that cup?
Yeah, Steve.
That's a water because I want to stay
Yeah.
hydrated.
Oh, right.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I never miss
Hydration's
it. I'm really
important.
looking forward to it.
Now, last year, Andy Cohen was at the
Yes.
Pet Parade, and he's, of course, a big name. And I know Kevin Bacon and his brother, the Bacon Brothers,
saw Kevin there, yeah.
performed. And I mean, there's some really big names. Anything you want to share with us today?
Well, we are going to have Blues Traveler this year at the Pet Parade. The MC is yet to be announced, so stay tuned for that. But
It
we're
might
excited.
be Steve Potter.
We're excited.
They
The
haven't
year of
asked me. I've
Steve.
been waiting. Hey, before we go though, I want you to. There's an art to tossing these things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know,
So,
it's all
maybe
in,
you
You
can
don't
give us
want
a
to take
lesson.
out an eye.
no, it's all in the wrist. You can always tell the rookies. Right?
Okay.
You know, so you don't throw like this.
No.
Right? Yeah, no, you don't do that. So you want to get this, and you got to get a little spin going,
right.
so you get the physics working in your favor, and then go.
Let's
See?
see.
You can get much more distance on it that way.
Toss this to the studio audience.
Yeah,
there
there
you
you
go. Yay!
Oh,
See?
nicely done. Nicely done. All right, so before we let you go, Mac, the best place to get all of the information for all of the 6 weeks of Mardi Gras events is?
Is stlmardigras.org.
All right.
Everything is there. If you want to buy tickets to the Mayor's Ball, that's there. All the information's there.
All right, and 3 parades, if you count the original parade, the Pet Parade, and the Fat Tuesday Parade.
Fat Tuesday Parade, yeah.
So lots to see. All right, Mac Bradley with Mardi Gras Inc., thank you for being
Happy
with
Mardi
us.
Gras.
Thank you. Happy Mardi
And
Gras.
we want to thank everybody at home. for watching too.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode of St. Louis Presents, and thanks to all of our guests who were here with us today.
See you in Soulard.
For Steve Potter's celebration, of course.
Yes, it's all about me.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.